Good afternoon, people. So today we're building the Ptfe fuel lines for the Mustang project. Give you guys a quick little overview on how these kind of work. Assuming I still remember properly, but they're pretty easy. I think they might be even easier than regular AN lines, if not maybe just a little bit more tedious is all. I built a few of them off camera just for a few of the straight ends. Right now I'm building the return line. So I guess the first thing you gotta do, with the Ptfe fitting, you've got your cap, you got the acorn, which jams inside, and then you got the fitting itself. This one's obviously 90-degree fitting. Tools you're gonna need: a good vise, it just makes your life a ton easier. Some magnetic vise jaws so you don't destroy your fittings. I'm using a vise that slides into the receiver of my service truck because it's what I had to work with. So you gotta, don't forget to slide your nut on top of the fitting. Normally I would use a little bit of Ptfe lube, but I forgot it. I'll grab some before I tighten it down. And the tapered portion goes in to the thing, into the fitting, and you have to put it below the braid and above the Ptfe line itself. Sometimes tapping it down on a vise helps, and you see what you're going for is you want it flush at the end of the acorn. Now this is the part you got to be careful about. I'm gonna go grab some lube. So this is a pre-cut line from Aeromotive, and I'm not sure what they used to cut it, but it kind of tore this end up, so I might need to go back and redo it. But I need this line to be as long as possible. I don't have any to spare on it, so I'm going to try to save it. I'm trying to kind of push it under the acorn. There's a lip on the inside, so you kind of want it to back up against the lip best you can. And so I'm gonna have to trim this one down a little bit, but you guys can see how it's folding inside of there. That means if it does that, it's probably salvageable to a degree, but I don't know that this one's going to be worth the time. Because see, whenever they cut it, it's like tapered in. It's bizarre. So we're gonna chop a little bit off the end of this. And for that, you need another tool, which I will show you the Aeromotive preferred method, and we'll see how it works. So, Aeromotive recommends a pair of loppers, kind of like a pair of cable cutters, and I didn't have time to wait. So these are 300 MCM, I believe, cable cutters from Klein Tools, and sell them at Home Depot, relatively cheap considering everything that I've purchased for this car. So we're gonna attempt to lop it off and see what it is. I'm only cutting a little bit off just to kind of get their messed up end out of the way. If this doesn't work good, we'll go get a grinder. Try that. Definitely cut a straighter edge than what's on there. Yeah, I think that should work. Test fit. Oh yeah, that's much nicer. Oh, I think I have Amazon package showing up. No taper, fits better. We should be in business. Same thing. Pound it in place if you need to. Make sure it's all the way flush on the inside. Looks like we're in business. The silicone lube never hurts. Glides together with no problem. That's how you know you're working right. Okay, so once you've got your piece assembled, acorns underneath the shielding above the Ptfe tube, you're going to slide the nut to the top. I usually start them by hand at first. If possible. It feels like, am I getting threads? No. Sometimes it takes a little bit of effort to get them to start, which is part of the reason the bench vise is so nice. And make sure you don't tighten your vise down too much. You're not trying to mangle your fittings. Whew. Hurt my hand at work today. I'm losing a little bit of pressure. That took way too fucking long to start. Sometimes you're gonna gotta tug, push, make sure that fitting's all the way together or it's just gonna leak. Can't find any of my good AN wrenches, but they sell these little adjustable ones for a lot cheaper. They work okay. They're definitely not as nice. Just make sure you have them tight in the right place. If it feels like it's binding up too much, take it apart, probably see what's going on, see if you can find anything wrong. They do take a moderate amount of force to install, at least all the ones I've ever done and seen do, but not a ton. You know, you're not putting on a tire, you're tightening a fuel, tightening the fuel line. And you want to tighten it down until it is flush against the nut. So I'm about a half turn off. And voila. The adjustable AN wrench definitely doesn't take quite as good as care of your fittings, but not too bad, right? All right. So I think next we're going to start the routing of the fuel lines. We're gonna have to get this one all the way through the car. I'm trying to decide exactly where I'm going to run it, but I have a kind of a general idea. So we'll do that. Then we're going to probably start building the feed line. Depending on the time. It's starting to get dark, so we'll see. But let's get to it, shall we? So I know a lot of the Foxbody guys will run their fuel lines kind of in the passenger side. I think I'm gonna run mine on the driver's side because I got my downpipe down on the passenger side, nothing on the driver's side really, and that's where the factory carburetor lines come up, with on the driver's side, come up right about there. So we got the return line out the bottom of the regulator, down by the injectors. I wanted to tuck it underneath the intake, kind of like next to the distributor, but there's not enough room there. So, you know, I could put it through one of the intake runners, but that's going to lose me more length than I think I can afford. We'll probably, maybe if we have enough slack, I'll probably put in a strap holding it kind of right on the firewall there, but we'll have to see. Aeromotive, I ordered my lines and fittings directly from Aeromotive, and I believe they may have shorted me about a foot on each line, but it is what it is. I've got it. I'm gonna make it work. So I guess, ow, fuck. So I guess let's get underneath the car. A couple more tech tips real quick. Got my lines kind of routed, and I'll show you in a minute. I'm using stainless steel self-tapping screws, just little 3/4 inch ones, to hold it to the car. If you're going to do this and you don't have a lot of experience with an impact, I recommend a screw gun. I'm not saying I don't have a lot of impact experiences. My impact is locked in the truck and I have this available. When using a screw gun, your chances of running it in too far and stripping it out are a little bit less likely. I've still seen people do it a lot, but with screw gun it's just a little bit less worry. So yeah, got it ran down behind the motor through the transmission mount. I was going to run it on the outside of the subframe connector, but Aeromotive shorted me about a foot of fuel line, so we're going to make do with what we have, because I'm not going to wait. But I might call them and see if they'll send me 20 bucks or something, because this line is not cheap. I couldn't find a shorter bit holder, so we'll be working 8 inches away from our piece. Voila. First one done. Let's move it a little bit. Now, I see at the track a lot, people will have their fuel lines drooping and hanging off the bottom of their car, and I'm not a big fan of that myself. If that gets caught on something, you know, that could burn your vehicle to the ground. It's just cheap insurance to make sure you've got it tucked up away pretty good. Doesn't have to be great. Pretty good is fine for this application, I would say. I want to check one thing before I screw this down. I want to see what my inlet and outlet ports are, so I don't have to make them cross. Well, I might have to make them cross anyways, but we'll see. Alright, so as you can see, dark outside now, but we made good progress. Got called into work, so I had to go finish up a job, and then when I got back I decided I was just gonna slam out to work and get it ready. You know, I think I showed everything that I kind of wanted to, but so we've got all of the lines built. They're fit, they're pressure tested. I put it up to about 80 psi. I'll probably go a little bit higher a little bit later, but for now that should be fine, because I'm only going to be running a base of 43 psi with maybe 15 pounds of boost, so that's only going to put me at 58 psi. So 80 psi should be plenty. But yeah, just making progress. So now that I've got the fuel system done, minus one bolt, I got to get one bolt But now that I got the fuel system done, all I've got to do is lower the car and get started on the wiring. For the A1000 tank, man, I don't know how this camera does. Yeah, it's pretty dark. Never mind. A1000 tank, I built a little wiring harness, ran it up into the trunk, because basically I don't want to take the tank back down. I don't want to do nothing else. So we're getting in pretty good shape. I got a week from tomorrow, week from day after tomorrow is my first race that I'm trying to make it to. So we'll see. I think it's possible. Just gotta slam it and jam it. It's tough waking up at 5 in the morning and busting my ass until 9 o'clock at night to work on the car, but it's gonna be worth it. That being said, make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe. Tune back in for more content, and we'll be here keeping building cars.